put all your shit in a corner or maybe even a closet and just pretending that you'll never have to actually deal with it, one day it becomes unbearable and you actually have to deal with it, then grab your partner and risk it all to organize it. Basically, this room used to be Brandon's office. He moved into an office space a while ago. Proud of you, babe. So it became a dumping ground for basically everything we own. And because of the dual threat of anxiety and avoidance, we are just now getting to it. Cat. First, we have to pee in the wound. It's a metaphor, because if you get stung by a jellyfish, then someone needs to pee in your wound to neutralize the toxin, allegedly. We're doing it. It's fun. Being responsible for our space is fun. With the room emptied out and our brains fried, we brought in this massive heavy-duty storage solution and then put it all together. My favorite. Brought in this like giant industrial kind of like rack thing. It's like 500 pounds when all the pieces are together. And I don't know why I'm like, oh, that was so hard for me. Brandon did it. I brought the like smaller, I brought these things in. So I guess now it's like the assembly part.
So I think we want this basically against this wall. So here, let me run an idea past you. So the bottom is supposed to be for the suitcases. So what we can do is put these support beams above the suitcase level so that we can just roll the suitcases in and out.
Blah, blah, blah. I love my boyfriend. I am so overstimulated. Are we close to done yet?
So we're gonna want it.
As you can see, things are going great and we haven't gotten too cranky yet and are collaborating so well. For now. At this point, we were really cooking. We managed to get the storage thing up pretty quickly, I guess. Although we didn't have a hammer or a mallet, so we ended up having to just use this thing. I think it's a desk tripod. But it got the job done, which was fine. And that leads us to our next tip, which is please, please, please measure things more than once, because we started putting it together and then realized we had our measurements wrong and had to take it down and then put it together again. My question, so are we keeping this table?
I think I'd like to. I think I'd like to keep the table.
Eventually we finished and we...
Hell yeah. So cool. Wow.
To reward ourselves, we started to do what I think is the best part about decluttering, which is putting everything in all nice and organized. But before we can get to that, we have to... Do we need all these suitcases? It's the 9-letter word that always seems like a good idea until you realize 2/3 of the way through that you don't want to do it anymore, Grandpa. You're tired. It's too damn bad. It's time to look at the 3 Ds. Keep, donate, or dispose. The D on the first one is silent. That's the joke. This is a really grueling process because you have to be honest with yourself and realize that you occasionally go a little crazy. This is really so important and it will save you from decluttering constantly. I get it, truly. There's documented evidence. But I really tried to notice patterns in things that I had too much of or what it felt like I purchased and maybe didn't use, so that ultimately I could be a more mindful consumer and not end up with a room full of things that I don't need. We're back to building, but this time we have a less heavy-duty shelving system for our shoes. Aw, don't be sad, everyone. I know it's not frustratingly heavy like the other one, but it's sturdy and has a whole lot of heart. We also bought this rack off Amazon to act as a little coat closet overflow. At first, I thought it was overkill. We already had this coat rack that acts as a combination drying rack and I use it when I pack. And honestly, it works great, so we're gonna keep it since it has wheels, we can move it around easily. But the advice that I've seen on the internet, aka TikTok, is that everything needs to have a place so that you don't fall back into the cluttery mess we found ourselves in. And this rack is way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Okay, so maybe the moment we've been waiting for is when this is done, but I guess the runner up to the moment we've all been waiting for, which is putting things away, neatly, organized, what we came here to do. And we're labeling the bins because what's worse than having a room you can't walk through? It's having a room you can walk through but don't know where anything is, so then you have to open all the bins to find what you need. So about like 3-ish, 4 months have passed, because I think the after really starts when you start like living in it. And that's where you can really see if like your organization held up and if the strategies that we used are worth you using in your life. Shall we? Okay, so I did not touch this room since I decided that today was the day that I was gonna film the update. I guess we can start on things that shouldn't be here. The first is that guy. So this, we were like, maybe we'll sell it, maybe we'll keep it. And to be honest, after the day that we organized everything, we have just been using this room. We have not had the time or mental energy to actually like do anything about the outstanding tasks. Oh, didn't see you there. I'm in this bag that was not here when we finished. This very heavy bag is full of clothes, I think for me to donate. Yeah, this is a donate pile. We did donate everything that we sorted out on the organization day, but I recently went through, somewhat recently. Actually, why don't I just show you? Okay, so this rack is kind of like an experimentation rack, I guess you could call it. Brandon uses the top area for his coats, like his winter coats, since he doesn't need that often. This is where I keep all the things. Actually, look, oh my gosh, it's labeled. This is where I keep everything that needs to be altered. It's a pretty big pile. I just haven't really gotten to it yet. These also need to be altered. On the bottom is kind of clothes that I like but haven't worn recently, and so I moved them out of my closet to see if I would go and grab them. And then I have like a calendar invite in my calendar, like 6 months from now, to see if I haven't touched them, then I'm going to get rid of the clothes. So this has been a huge luxury. It's like having an extra little closet, which is brilliant. Sydney, is it hard to navigate this space with this giant bike in the middle of it? Yeah, it is. So we actually bought this, which is a wall mount kit for my bike, but we just haven't gone around to doing it yet. So behind me is probably what feels like the most, I mean, this whole thing is, let's be honest, is so extra. I'm very grateful for it. But this feels so luxurious because we can just pull our luggages, like slide them out from underneath. So this totally made our lives like 100 times easier, which, thank you. We organized it based on like, but what do we use the most? And the things that we use the most are on the bottom, so they're really easily accessible. And the things we use the least, or more like specific items, are up at the top. Down here we have things like this shoe box because I don't want to throw it away. I don't know why. They're nice shoes, and it's like a nice shoe box. And my mom keeps all her shoe boxes, so I think it rubbed off on me. So I found a nice place to put that. This is a bad example. We have also things that are too heavy. So like this candle box is super, super heavy. I buy my candles on sale from Essence. That's a pro tip. Essence.com, and they used to consistently have like really nice candles on sale. So we have all of our candles in here. So it's like, Sydney, oh my gosh, we need candles. What's going on? Then I'm like, don't worry, I have them right here. Oh no, which box is it? The one labeled candles. Perfect. So I have things like candle holder. Also, it smells very perfumey. Candle. My nail kit here for when I was trying to do my own nails. I've since given up. You from up here. Wait, down here. I was trying to do something fancy and look like you were looking down from me, but honestly, I couldn't figure it out, and I kept almost dropping the camera. And I don't think this is working, but it's fine. So up there, I feel like I kind of made out like a bandit here because Brandon moved into a new office and I greatly benefited from that. The only thing that's kind of weird, well, it's not weird, but in this corner, we have things that Brandon wants to sell, but he just hasn't gotten to it yet. And then in the corner is Brandon's old table, which we also want to sell. It's really heavy, and we made the mistake of like putting it in the corner, but now neither of us want to take the time to take it out and take pictures and put it together because again, we'd have to recruit a few people. It's too heavy for the two of us. I'm so excited that it's continued to be like a really productive space. I think that there was so much anxiety seeing all of that clutter, and I really didn't know if we could do it. We did it, and we're continuing to do it, which I think is a sign of success. If you like this video, check out my other ones, please.